I was standing inside a strange hospital room. A man I had never seen in my life was lying on the bed with many tubes on his body. His eyes were half open, like someone that wanted to talk but did not know how to start. When he finally looked at me, his lips began to shake. He raised his hand slowly like he wanted to touch my face. My heart was beating fast because the man looked at me like he knew me very well. His voice came out small and weak, and he said he was my father. Everything inside my head scattered. My legs became weak. I felt like running out of the room. I felt like shouting at him. I felt like crying. I did not even know what to feel. I only knew one thing. That man had never been in my life, yet he looked at me like he carried me when I was small. And that was the moment my whole world changed. 3 weeks before that day, I was living my normal life with my mother in our small 2-room house behind the mechanic workshop in Enugu. I woke up early, cleaned the compound, and helped Mama in her small akara and pap business in front of the house. Our life was simple and tight, but it was our life and I never complained. I did not know that night would spoil every normal thing I knew. It started on a Thursday evening. The heat was too much and PHCN had taken light since afternoon. I was sitting near the window, waving a hand fan made from old calendar paper. The whole compound was noisy with generator sound. Mama was in the kitchen frying plantain when she came out, cleaned her hands on a wrapper, and walked to the front door. I did not look at her well until I heard the sound of the key turning in the lock. Mama never locked the door that early. She walked back to the table and sat down. Her face looked tired and scared at the same time. She did not even look at me. She only held her 2 hands together like she was praying inside her mind. I dropped my hand fan because my chest started to feel tight. I asked her if anything was wrong. She raised her head slowly. There was water in her eyes. She told me that she needed to tell me the truth. A truth she had been hiding for many years. I felt cold even in the heat. My mind started to jump from one thought to another. Mama said the truth was about my father. The father I had never seen. The father she always said was working in the north. The father she never allowed me to call. I sat up well because I knew my life was about to change, but I did not know how. She started talking, and every word she said that night opened a new wound in my heart. When Mama started talking, the air inside the room became heavy. I could hear the generators outside, but they sounded far away like they were in another world. Mama said she met my father many years ago when she was still working in a small restaurant in Onitsha. She said he came there almost every day to eat, and he always made her laugh. She said he was older than her, and he already had a family, but he told her that things were not good in his marriage. He told her he would fix everything and be with her. Mama believed him because she was young and she had no one else in the city. I wanted to close my ears, but I kept listening. Something inside me wanted to know everything, even if it pained me. Mama said when she got pregnant with me, she told him, and he became afraid. He started visiting her at night instead of daytime. He started giving excuses. He started making promises he did not keep. Then one day he said he had a big problem with his family and he needed to stay away for a while. After that day, he stopped coming completely. No calls, no money, no message, nothing. I looked at Mama, and she looked small to me for the first time in my life. She was not sounding like a strong woman again. She was talking like someone who had carried one big secret for too long. She said she wanted to tell me the truth long ago, but she was afraid. She said she wanted me to grow up without feeling like a mistake. She said she wanted me to have peace. So she created a story that my father was working in the north and that one day he would come back. I felt something break inside my chest. I did not even know what to call the feeling. It was like anger and shock and sadness mixed together. I asked her if my father ever tried to find me. Mama shook her head. She said she did not hear from him for more than 16 years. I did not talk for a long time. I just sat down and stared at the floor. My body felt hot. My eyes were full, but I did not want to cry. I wanted to understand why she kept this kind of truth from me. I wanted to understand why a man would leave a woman with a child and walk away like nothing happened. Then Mama said something that made my heart jump. She said a man called her that afternoon. A man she had never met. He said he was my father's first son. He said he found some old documents in his father's drawer with Mama's name on them. He said he wanted to talk. Mama said she panicked and cut the call. I felt my breath stop for a moment. Mama said she knew the man would call again. She said she locked the door because she did not want anyone in the compound to hear us. She said she wanted me to hear the truth from her mouth before the world forced it on me. My hands were shaking. My heart was beating too fast. If my father's first son found us, then it meant something serious was coming. It meant my life was no longer quiet or simple. It meant a storm was on the way. The next morning, I woke up with a heavy head. I felt like I did not sleep at all. My eyes were hot and my throat was dry. I wanted the whole thing to be a dream. But when I saw Mama sitting on the edge of the bed, holding her phone with both hands like it was something that wanted to bite her, I knew the truth was still there waiting for me. She looked at me once, then looked away. Her face was swollen like she cried in the night. I wanted to say something, but my mind was empty. I stood up and walked to the window. The compound was already busy. I could hear a baby crying from the next room. The mechanic boys were shouting and dragging tools. Someone started boiling water outside. Everything looked normal, but my life was not normal anymore. Mama's phone started ringing. She jumped. The phone almost fell from her hand. I could see the fear on her face. She turned the screen away from me, but I saw enough. It was the same number from yesterday. She did not pick the call. The phone rang again. She still did not pick. Then it stopped. I did not know what pushed me, but I walked to her and took the phone from her lap. The number was saved as unknown. My hand was shaking. I pressed the call button before my mind fully understood what I was doing. When the person picked, the voice was calm. It was a young man's voice. He said he was looking for Mama. I told him she was there. I asked him what he wanted. I did not shout. My voice was low because I was afraid, but I wanted answers. He said he was not trying to cause trouble. He said his family found out their father had another child. He said the father was very sick and wanted to see me. My chest became tight. I felt like someone pushed air out of my lungs. I did not know what to say. I did not know if I should believe him or cut the call. I gave the phone back to Mama because my hand was getting weak. Mama held it to her ear and listened. She did not talk much. She only said she understood. She said she would think about it. Then she cut the call. She sat there without moving. Her eyes were empty, like she was not in the room again. I asked her if the man was telling the truth. She nodded slowly. She said she knew the voice was telling the truth because nobody else had any reason to look for us. I felt fear climbing my body like cold water. I asked her what we were going to do. She said she did not know. She said she did not want me to get hurt. She said she did not trust that family. She said they might blame me for something I did not cause. But inside me, something else was growing. It was not anger. It was not sadness. It was something close to courage. For the first time in my life, I wanted to stand in front of the truth and look at it well. I wanted to see the man who left Mama alone. I wanted to know his face. I wanted to hear his voice. Even if it pained me, even if it broke my heart. The whole day moved slowly. Mama did not talk much. I did not talk much too. But inside my mind, one thought refused to go away. If my father was really dying, then time was running out. And the truth that Mama ran from for 16 years was now knocking on our door. 2 days passed, and it felt like 2 weeks. Mama was not herself. She would stand up, walk around the room, sit down again, then stand up once more. She could not relax. Every small sound made her jump. I did not blame her. The truth she carried for many years was now walking toward us whether we liked it or not. On the third morning, the phone rang again. This time I picked it before Mama could even touch it. The same calm voice greeted me. He said his name was Chike. He said their father had been asking for me again. He said the doctors were saying he did not have much time. I told him I would talk to Mama. Then I ended the call. Mama was looking at me with tired eyes. I told her that we could not hide forever. I told her that even if the man hurt her long ago, he was still my father. I told her I wanted to see him, not because I loved him, not because I needed anything from him, but because I wanted to stand in front of the truth with my own eyes. Mama held her head with both hands. She said she was afraid of how the family would treat me. She said she did not know what they wanted. She said she was scared that they would look at me like a shame. I sat beside her. I told her I was tired of running. I told her that lies were heavier than the truth, and I was carrying the lie for too long. She did not talk for a long time. She just looked at the floor and breathed slowly. Later that afternoon, she told me we would go. She said she could not stop me from knowing my own story. She said if the man truly wanted to see me, then we would go together. When she said that, my heart started beating fast. I felt fear and strength at the same time. I packed a small bag. Mama packed her own. She changed her wrapper 3 times because she was shaking. We left early the next morning for the park. The road to Onitsha was long and full of noise. The bus smelled like diesel and heat, but my mind was not even in the bus. I kept looking out of the window, watching the trees pass like they were running away from something. My stomach felt tight. Mama held my hand sometimes, then released it again because her palm was sweating. She was trying to be strong, but I knew she was breaking inside. When we reached Onitsha, Chike was waiting for us near the hospital gate. He looked older than I expected. His face was serious, but his eyes were soft when he saw me. He said their father was asking for me again. Walking through the hospital corridor felt like walking into another world. The smell of medicine and bleach filled my nose. People were moving up and down with worried faces. My legs felt weak, but I kept walking. When we reached the door of the room, my heart stopped for 1 second. The truth I ran from all my life was now inside that room, breathing weakly, waiting for me to enter. When Chike pushed the door open, the room was cold. The air smelled like medicine and something I cannot describe. The man on the bed looked smaller than I imagined. His skin was thin, and his hair was white at the edges. He was breathing slow, like every breath took strength from him. I stood at the door because my legs refused to move. Then his eyes opened. They looked tired but sharp. When he saw me, something changed in his face. He tried to sit up, but his body failed him. His hand lifted a little, then dropped back down. I walked closer even though my heart was beating fast. Mama stayed near the door, holding her wrapper tight like she wanted to disappear. The man's eyes were full of something I had never seen before. Regret, fear, sadness. He tried to talk, but his voice came out weak. He said my name. He said it slowly, like he was touching each letter with his mouth. Hearing my name from his voice made my chest hurt. He said he had waited too long to see me. He said he wanted to come back many times, but he was afraid. He said he was a coward. He said he ran away from his own mistake until it became too big to face. As he talked, tears started falling from his eyes. I did not know what to feel. I was angry, but the anger could not stand when I saw how broken he looked. I was sad, but the sadness was too heavy for me to carry alone. I felt small and lost, but I also felt strong. I told him I grew up without knowing him. I told him Mama carried everything. I told him the truth hurt. He nodded many times. He said he did not expect forgiveness. He said he only wanted me to know that he never forgot me. He said he thought about me every year. He said he wished he had been brave. His voice broke many times. Chike and the other 2 siblings stood at the corner of the room. They looked uncomfortable but not angry. One of the daughters even wiped her face like she was trying not to cry. I looked at them, and for the first time, I did not feel like a stranger. I felt like someone who had a place, even if the place was small. When the doctor came in, he asked us to let their father rest. The man grabbed my hand with the last strength he had. His hand was warm but weak. He said thank you. He said he was sorry. Then he closed his eyes. His breathing became slower. We all stepped back. The room became silent. A few minutes later, the doctor checked him again and covered his body with a white sheet. Mama began to cry quietly. I stood there, not crying, not talking. I felt like my heart was floating away from me. We left the hospital together. The air outside felt different, like the world had shifted a little. Chike walked with us to the gate. He said they did not hate me. He said they did not blame me. He said they hoped I would stay in touch. Mama and I entered a bus back to Enugu. She held my hand the whole ride without letting go. For the first time since the truth came out, she did not look afraid. She looked free. When we reached home, I sat on the bed and breathed slowly. I felt pain, but it was a clean kind of pain. Not the kind that hides in the dark. Not the kind that grows from lies. For 16 years, I lived with a story that was not complete. Now I knew the whole truth. It did not fix everything. It did not make everything easy, but it made me stronger. It made me see myself clearly. And that night, for the first time in my life, I slept without wondering who my father was. I finally knew.